Hey y'all. Well, it is the night before I leave town. And obviously, the stress levels have been pretty high. Um, Everybody told me moving is stressful. I've moved before, not like this. And I've been kind of, just going through the process. And I really kept kind of thinking to myself, oh, this isn't so bad. This isn't as bad as people were telling me it was going to be. Well, today, I discovered that the reason it wasn't so bad is because I wasn't doing it right. um, just there was a lot to catch up on and a lot to get done. And as I have a perennial habit of doing, I waited until the last minute. If nothing else, if nothing else, I've learned that when you are moving, we don't do that. um, Day started out with me turning in my iPad um, to the School for the Deaf, Louisiana School for the Deaf, and that was definitely kind of bittersweet walking out of there for the last time. My first 2 years as a teacher were there, so that is something I'm going to carry with me forever. And it's the experience taught me a lot about myself. It taught me what I'm capable of. Obviously, it introduced me to the deaf community, which is something really has kind of set the path of the rest of my career and possibly just my life path in general. So I can't discount that. And I didn't. Then we get on to, as the day went on, I somehow managed to get my everything shoved into a 15-foot U-Haul. Yeah. And it was about 10 years worth of crap. And I thought I had purged a lot of my crap. I still think I purged a lot of my crap, but I still had a lot of crap after purging, another lot of my crap. That is a habit I carry down by, I come by it honestly, grandmother and my aunt both are kind of have the same tendency to be pack rats. I've gotten better as I've gotten older, but we purged some things that definitely hurt to purge. Uh, I grew up video gaming, and I finally got rid of a lot of my ancient game systems that just were no longer functional and no longer useful, but it's just things like that. Like some of the stuff I've had since childhood. And obviously that was a thing. That was, kind of yesterday. Today was mostly just getting things put into boxes. Yes, I waited until the day before to start boxing. Not all of my boxes. I can't remember what we started a couple of nights ago, but I didn't have like my whole life to pack into boxes today, just most of it. Like I said, learning experience. Next time I'll do it right. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired, but I'm so excited. Of course, it's on my mind. I keep thinking of this as my last night in town, and then I kind of realized it really doesn't have to be. So that mentality is just kind of boop, gone. This is the farthest I'll ever have moved away from home, and it probably will be the longest I've gone without coming back to this house. This is the house that I grew up in. Um, I have been here. I've been out. I have moved out of here before, but I ultimately moved back about actually 10 years, almost to the day ago. Um, Stayed here with my parents after some changes in my life, and I never left. Like I never, I either worked or went to school the entire time I lived here. There was never a freeloader period, but I've lived with my parents, most in some form most of my life. And I know they're excited for me and they're supportive of me, but of course, I kind of feel like, there's a part of me that thinks like, well, of course they're worried about Natalie going out to California. It's 2,000 miles away, and okay, they're parents, they get to do that. And there's nothing to fight about that. Um, I've been getting a lot of questions from people from like my my village, so to speak, and I thought I would try to run some, talk about them, maybe answer a few. Um, the one I got started getting first when I started telling people that I was moving out to California this summer was, well, why? And of course, the short answer is why not? The long answer is because I got a really good job offer out there. I am going to continue teaching. I am still in grad school, adding deaf and educator of the deaf and hard of hearing to my license, and that is an ongoing effort that will continue. The position that I have accepted is as a mild moderate special education teacher, and it's and of course another big question I got was, well, you could do that here. Why not just stay here? Again, same kind of the same answer as to, well, why California? Why not? Um, there's a longer answer to the question, why California? Um, I love California. I visited there for the first time around a decade ago, maybe a little bit longer than that now, even. And I fell in love with the area I went to. The first city I visited out there was Long Beach. And I only just got up to the north end of the state a few years ago. And when I started seriously thinking about how I would get out there, where I would go, I originally wanted to go to the southern half of the state because I always liked the vibe. I liked the cities. I liked everywhere I'd been to down there. I liked the people. And so when I started looking, really it just came down to who gave me the better offer and who gave me an offer first. And that ended up being Sacramento. So that is how that happened. Another big question I've been getting is, well, do you have family out there? No, I do not have biological family out there. However, I do have a village. I do have a lot of very dear friends who live in the Sacramento area, and they are as good as family to me. So I am not going out there. I'm not up and running off to a place where I don't know anybody, although I would do that. It's I'm not afraid of forging new connections and just blazing new trails. But I am very as this has gone on, I've gotten more and more grateful that I have the support network that I do in the city that I'm moving to. Um, it's going to be nice. These are some friends of mine that I met gaming because I've never made it any secret. I'm a big gaming geek. I've always been an online gaming nerd, and I will play tabletop TTRPGs until the cows come home. If nobody stops me, like says, "Hey Nat, that's enough for a day," Um, and that is how I fell in with this group of people. And I finally got out there to visit them all in person, and they when they heard that I really liked the state and wanted to move there, they were like, "Well, come on up here. It's nice out here." And they turned out to be right. So here I am. And then I was very fortunate to get the offer that I did. And so my school district's address is Carmichael, California. My new home's address has a Sacramento address. That very. It's kind of like if you're a Louisiana native, it's kind of like going Kent or Metairie, New Orleans, basically. Let me think. What else have people been asking me? I guess that's all the big ones. Um, well, no, no. The other one is, what made you decide to do this? That's a loaded one. It's been a dream deferred for a long time, so obviously that's a reason to go for it. But I've been through a lot this last year, a lot of growth, you know. I finally took charge of my life in the capacity that I wanted to. I, I, I decided what I wanted and I went for it. And that's may not seem like much. Like it well, I'm not gonna say it may not seem like much. I'm sure that's an undertaking everybody's had at some point. But for me, it was huge because I am very good at thinking of reasons not to do things. And some that I had were legitimate, and then some were just plain not. In the last 2 years, I've learned a second language. I've decided to take control of my health and lose the weight, and I lost 110 pounds in the last 7 months. I've applied to and got accepted into a graduate program. I got a job in another city 2,000 miles away from this one. And all of those are things that I would not necessarily have done if, like, I hadn't just all of a sudden decided that there was nothing left for me to wait for. It's very easy to talk yourself out of doing something. But once you get over that and you decide that, yes, I can, and yes, I will, it's an oversimplification, but that really is how this all started. And I'm glad for it. So right now, I do, of course, like I said, this is just kind of me rambling about what it's like being my last night in town. Of course, I've spent the day like saying goodbye to people, and I've been wished well by everybody here in Louisiana. Everybody is rooting for me. I am rooting for me. I saw my sister. Obviously I've been with my parents most of the day. I saw my grandmother and my aunt. I got to, we all got to hug and kiss goodbye. And tomorrow, we are hitting the road at 7:30 in the morning, which is another reason I'm really tired. Yeah, because it's getting late now. I mean, I would have been up at this time anyway. I've always been a night owl. But those are my thoughts on my last night in town. It was definitely strange. Okay, so the way my living situation has worked is like I live on my parents' property, but I live in kind of a mother-in-law suite, and that's been my little dent in the world for the last decade. So, getting all of my stuff out of it. Now I walk in there and I talk to the dog. I'll call the dog, who the dog is staying here, by the way. Lola is not an apartment dog. She is not going with me to California. She will stay here with my mom. And that was really mom's request, but she's right. But I'll go into the little mother-in-law suite and I'll call and I'll just hear an echo, and that's not happened for a decade. So it was definitely strange seeing emptiness where like literally all of my furniture, all that stuff was. And I haven't had that experience in a while, so I'd kind of forgotten the whoa factor when, you get a look at that. And now I'm tucked into my sister's old bedroom in mom and dad's house. Dad, got to chat with dad for a little bit, and let me just shout my mom out right now. Y'all saw my Facebook post about her like just assuming a boxer stance with a cockroach and literally kicking it out the door in her bare feet, no less. That's not something I'd ever do. If I But she has been really my rock getting all of this stuff organized and ready to go and getting me out of the door, so to speak, because I don't organize well. That's no secret. And so that's where we are. That's what tomorrow brings. And the next time I report to you guys, I will be somewhere between here and Amarillo, Texas. That's as far as we're going tomorrow. Obviously, I'm not going to stream and drive because that's stupid. But I will definitely keep you guys updated. I will always be like trying to capture the moment, so to speak. But I've got some things to do even still before I call it a night for tonight. Like, I packed up my suitcase for the hotel stops along the way because I'm not opening the U-Haul to drag clothes out of it. I swear, like that, the things you don't think about until you have to. And I got to make sure I have all my medications, all that crap packed away. But I love hearing from you guys. I'm glad that I'm glad that y'all seem to enjoy the videos as I get them uploaded. And I will see you again next time. Bye.